Welcome to BallCourt, World of Basketball, and I am Coach Drew. Things are changing right now, and health issues is going to be the focus why games aren't being played right here on BallCourt. Welcome. I'm Coach Drew. This is BallCourt, the world of basketball. Yes, the world of basketball seems to have actually come to a halt. It's been crazy. These last 24 to 48 hours of basketball have been absolutely insane. The reason is if you have not heard, the NBA season has been suspended due to the coronavirus outbreak. Yes, 2 Utah Jazz players were actually tested positive for the coronavirus. Utah Jazz star Donovan Mitchell and center Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert, who jokingly was touching every single microphone at a press conference last week, joking about the coronavirus, was actually tested. He was the initial person to test positive. At that moment, they actually stopped the game in OKC because of what was going on. And you can see on camera Chris Paul asking what was going on with Rudy Gobert and if everything was okay. So they quarantined everyone and started testing the players to make sure that they were okay. Donovan Mitchell did test positive. There were reports that Rudy Gobert was being careless in the locker room, touching each person's belongings and playing and touching each person as well. So this has been an absolute shock. The doors closed due to the coronavirus on the NBA season. Also, in further news in regards to that, the NBA G League itself, yes, the NBA's developmental basketball league that they do utilize to bring up talent is actually going to be closing their doors as well and suspended their season to follow along with the NBA. Until further notice, until they find out exactly what's going on and they can get a hold on this, the seasons of basketball right now has come to an end. So with that being said, there are a few things that has taken place that few moments that we didn't know that was coming up that now is actually upon us. Vince Carter actually took his last three-pointer. And that could have been the last game that Vince Carter plays. So I remember at one point in time, it was an amazing thing to hear about Vince Carter. As a matter of fact, I was reading a tweet saying that, the greatest thing about Vince Carter is being able to tell your son about the story of Vince Carter and then taking him to a game to show him, to watch him play. So it was that moment so Vince Carter is going to be closing the door on his career now. So long, happy trails. Hopefully we'll see you playing again soon and we get past this. Now, I want to move on to the world of basketball because everyone wants to know, on a whole, what is taking place, not just in the NBA. Now that the NBA doors are closed and the G League is closed, where are we going to get our basketball fix? Now, me, myself, I am a huge basketball fan. So the first thing I did was turn to my go-to, my trusty backup. When I don't have basketball, it's always there for me. And yes, the NBL. The NBL stated Perth Wildcats will plan to play in the grand finale series, even though they were actually on a plane. The coaches and players were on a plane with someone who had tested positive for the coronavirus. It was stated that that person was actually in a different portion of the plane, so they didn't have as much interaction. And so there wasn't any interaction, as a matter of fact. So they feel that they're comfortable to play, so they will be playing in that game. All right. Now, it kind of scares me a little bit, because, they were right on there. And in Australia also, in other news outside of basketball, in Australia, Tom Hanks and his wife Rita Scott had actually contracted the coronavirus as well. So we know that the Perth Wildcats to date, to right now, as I am reporting, right now it is said that that series will continue. But it may be a game time decision with the way things have been changing recently. Now, with everyone locking down and tucking in during these times, especially with sports on a whole being stopped in Italy due to this coronavirus, it is safe to say that a lot of countries are taking precautions. And a lot of countries are actually being lenient at this moment. But there is one country in particular that's not being as lenient, and that is China. China's Basketball Association actually made a statement today that American players have to return for the season or what they risk being banished from the team. Not from the team, I'm talking banished from the association altogether. And their agents will actually receive a 2-year suspension. Now, of course, due to the health concerns, a lot of American players are deciding that they will not return. Currently, right now, there are 40 Americans that are actually playing in China, including Ty Lawson, Jeremy Lin, and of course, Make 'em Dance Lance Stevenson. So these are the things that we want to look at. Now, Lance Stevenson, it is reported that he is in talks with Indiana and going back to the Pacers. But in order to do that, he's going to have to get out of the contract that he currently has with that CBA team, as well as he'd have to get that contract lifted off of FIBA as well. Hopefully, we will see Lance Stevenson back in an NBA jersey shortly. But I'm safe to say that he will not be playing in China for the remainder of this season and possibly could face banishment. Now, also, when I initially wrote my show for this week, I had some great news that I wanted to talk about. I wanted to really go ahead and dive into it. It was going to actually take on a segment of its own. But due to these recent events, this news is actually being postponed. The segment will still be there by itself because I will be discussing this. We want to see those developments as it takes place. But the Basketball Africa League they're here. They're here. It was about to happen. As a matter of fact, on March 13th, Friday, March 13th, it was set to debut in Dakar. And I tell you, it was something that everybody was waiting for. But it was, as far as speaking with the Senegalese government, they came to realize that it probably will not be in the best interest to go ahead and actually start this inaugural season at this moment. Though everyone was saddened, it is something that they felt would be in the best interest. I'm going to go ahead and take a brief little break. I'm going to be right back with you. And when I come back, we're going to talk more about the Basketball Africa League and how the coronavirus has been taking place on basketball and some other stories that's going place in basketball. Right here on BallCourt, I am Coach Drew. This is the world of basketball. Welcome back to BallCourt, the world of basketball. I am Coach Drew, yes. And I want to thank you. When we had left, we were talking about the Basketball's Africa League, and I am super excited. Being for the fact right now that they are, this is a league that is kind of partnered with the NBA and FIBA that has came together to make this league a strong league. Now, just in case you haven't been noticing or haven't really been watching, in December, they actually held the tryouts for this league. So they already put together these 12 teams that are strong enough to go at it. Now, this is something that's going to be next level. A basketball league of this level sitting on that continent. Now, they're going to be outfitted by Nike and Jordan, so it is going to be on the same levels of the G League as well as the NBA itself. This is first class all the way. But at the same point in time, we are amidst a pandemic at this point in time, so they must go ahead and make preparations to make sure that not only they protect their players, but they make it sustainable for them for the future. So President Amadou Galou Fall stated that following the recommendations of the Senegalese government regarding the escalating health concerns related to the coronavirus, the ball's inaugural season will be postponed. I am disappointed that we are not able to tip off this historic league as scheduled, but look forward to the highly anticipated launch of ball at a later date. And I must let you know, President Fall, we are 100% with you. We look forward to the kickoff for that season, and we will be watching and waiting patiently as things go ahead and reveal itself with the coronavirus. All right? So let's go ahead and move along to college. How is college handling this at this moment? Right? Now, the NCAA has decided that they are actually going to be holding their games and the tournament games in front of absolutely no one, just coaches and selected family members. So it will just be those people actually in attendance for the NCAA tournament. So March Madness is going to look a little bit different if you are watching it on television. It won't have that same feel or that same roar in the crowd, and it's going to be a little bit different. But luckily enough, you will still have your conference games. No, that is not the case. Actually, most of the major conference and some minor conferences follow suit as well, such as the Big Ten, the ACC, and the MEACs have actually decided that they will be playing in front of empty chairs. My take on this is, as a fan, we miss out on seeing some great basketball live. Because I guarantee how many people would want to have been there that day that Wilt Chamberlain scored 100. Many want to be in attendance, but they couldn't get to it. But as a human being, I definitely can understand that we must protect each and every one of us. So I can understand why they have not. Why they've decided not to play in front of the public. All right. Actually, I'm getting breaking news here. I'm seeing here that the NCAA is going to cancel the entire 2019 and 2020 season. So it will not just be not in front of the public. It will not be at all. Apparently, the conference tournaments have been canceled, as well as the NCAA tournament itself has been canceled. So this coronavirus is actually gotten to the point where there's a lot more things that are being canceled. So let's just go ahead, just to reiterate, the NBA season has been canceled. The NCAA season has been canceled, as well as March Madness. Basketball Africa League, that season has been postponed, and the G League season has been canceled. So right now, basketball is on hold. There's a bigger issue. There's something that's taking place that is bigger than basketball. And as friends, we must know that we don't want to be in a situation and take it as lightly as Rudy Gobert and accidentally, jokingly pass it on to someone else. We don't want to do that. But at the same point in time, we must be diligent. Make sure you're washing your hands. Make sure you're not rubbing your face or digging in your eyes or doing anything of that nature without clean hands. All right? So I want to go ahead and move on to the next segment. And I know this segment is a little bit on the lighter side for this segment. I love this segment so much. The reason why we're going to go ahead and jump into this segment is because outside of the coronavirus, other things are happening in this world, and we want to make sure that we're covering it all. And yes, that brings me to today's Shady or Genius. Okay, so shady or genius? I know you possibly sitting at home right now thinking to yourself, what possibly, in lieu of the coronavirus, what possibly could come up on Shady or Genius this week? Who can state, who can make a statement, a claim so crazy, so messed up that it overtakes coronavirus news? Well, Penny Toler, you're our winner today. All right, yes, ex-GM for the Los Angeles Sparks, Penny Toler, the one who lost her job for opening up her mouth pretty much and maybe saying some racial epithets that it didn't take kindly to her, to the people around her and her team. Her team didn't like what they were hearing. They didn't like what they were feeling from her. But she has a new lawsuit against, guess who? The Los Angeles Sparks. She's saying that they screwed her over. Yes, Los Angeles Sparks, she is stating that she was screwed over by them. She claims that, how shall I put it? She claims that the firing back in 2019 was complete BS. It wasn't for the reasons as said. She said that she was actually in the process of getting rid of Candace Parker, and that's what caused it. Now, this leads me to believe you, as a GM of the Sparks, of the Los Angeles Sparks, was that so far removed from the direction of the actual team itself. The steps that you were taking to so-called better the team, they were willing to fire you and say it was due to your language, why they did it. So you're stating that that's not the case, that you don't want that to be, that it wasn't due to your language, it was due to this. But your language did take place, your character did show it. So these are the things that we want to look at. To me, it sounds a little shady, and I think Penny Toler wants to go ahead and probably go about doing this in a different manner. But on the other hand, the fact that the LA Sparks has refrained from any comment about it up to this point, I would say that is absolute genius. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the segment called Let's Kick It. Let's kick it. Come on, y'all. Let's kick it. All right. Now, with the Let's Kick It, this segment of Let's Kick It today is going to be for the ladies. Yes. Let's kick it for the ladies. I normally, when I do a Let's Kick It for the ladies, I make sure I have a hot shoe. This one, I went all out on this one. The Melody Ihsani. Yes, Melody Ihsani has actually collabed with the women's Air Jordan OG. Yo, man. And mind you, the OG was actually featured on my show recently, and I wanted to go ahead and bring it back for the Let's Kick It. This one is a different kind. See, the Melody Ihsani collaboration, this actually gives you that cherry clad collaboration. Now, you got that cherry as the lace holder right at the bottom. I think it really brings it out. With the all black, as well as the red, and the nice accent for the Emmy on the back, I'm going to tell you the truth, any girl would be happy to be rocking these shoes. Definitely one of the flyer ones, I'd have to say. And of course, I'm going to have to give a shout out to the Air Force One Low Blueprint. Yes, hands down, one of the killers in the game, 110, right out the door. And it is absolute heat. I love these shoes. I know that any girl will rock them. As a matter of fact, I know some guys that would rock them. I prefer this colorway. I would probably do a lace swap in them, throw some red on those lace, make it hot. But I know that, that's a fabulous shoe. Definitely a great shoe. Definitely. Now, outside of that, that's how it works here. I got a quick little, statement from the coach. Quick little statement from the coach. Jump into that next segment. This statement from the coach, this is about always giving you 100%. Always give it your hardest. This weekend, my daughter and her team actually went up to Needles, California, and they won the Needles, California Classic. It was a very good game. And one thing that I realized was no matter what took place, at what point of the game that they were at, no matter what the scoreboard was, every single girl on that team was willing to give it their all. It led me to start to think about a lot of other things that takes place in this world and in this life, where we go halfway with what we're doing. We need to give it our all. When it comes to basketball and when you go out and you play, it shows a level of respect that you have for yourself, a level of respect you have for your competition, and a level of respect that you have for the game itself, just to give it your all. A lot of people think that when they hear that phrase that coaches has made it so cliche, like what's the 110%? What's giving it my all? Let me go ahead and break it down for you. Giving it your all is being fully engaged into your activity. Whether it be playing basketball, running track, baseball, doing schoolwork, or even just taking a test, being 100% engaged, mentally, physically, and emotionally, but without being wrapped up in the situation to the point that a negative outcome will determine the outcome of your day. That's giving it your all. That's leaving it all out there. You don't carry anything with you. You make sure you don't hold anything back. You give 100% effort. And that's all we ask for each and every person at all times, 100% effort. I would love to I want to thank each and every person for listening to my show and coming out each and every time. But before I go, here goes a word from our sponsors. This is CashToChecking.com/Drew.
Cash to Checking is one of the nation's leading finance companies, providing up to $400,000 in unsecured funding for business or personal use. We have relationships with over 250 lenders nationwide. Through the use of our proprietary software, we are able to secure over 80% more funding for our clients. We help clients obtain funding for real estate investment, business startups, down payment assistance, working capital, medical, legal, education, funeral expenses, and more.
That was CashToChecking.com/Drew. When you are tired of living their dreams and you're ready to start living your own, go to CashToChecking.com/Drew. Tell them I sent you. And trust me, we got some big things coming up. Big things. So please stay tuned. Check out CWN Sports. And yes, you can tune into us. Listen each and every day. Come in, find out what's going on. We're on radio.com. You can check out The Blitz with Malik. He's doing some great things over there. You have the Sean Harvey Morning Show every morning. Wake up with those three. They gonna keep you laughing and keep you smiling on your morning commute. If you're already in office, go ahead and throw your earphone in. Shh, I ain't gonna tell your manager anyway. It's real cool. And also, if you're not up on your sneaker game, you need to get up on your sneaker game. JT, the sneaker guy, demands that you get up on your sneaker game. Listen to me and him who talk sneakers and fashion and more, all on Let's Kick It. And, of course, I cannot forget. Hold on, am I forgetting anybody? BallCourt? I don't think so. Check us out. Keep on following us on Instagram. Follow us on Facebook. Hey, it's BallCourt World. And I'm glad that you're in it. I'm Coach Drew. This is BallCourt, the world of basketball.